Hello guys and girls, it's Psyker here. Welcome to the replay. If you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this right now, we're going to be going through the latest patch, talking about the content, talking about everything within it. This is going to be a couple hour stream. We're going to try and go through as much as we can. Of course, we're going to be making ourselves a Psyker. Don't you worry, we're going to be covering this guy in a lot of detail. Now, let's get started and make ourselves one of these characters. We're going to then crack on with a little bit of story content, which is the actual prologue of the game. So let's get cracking. Let's make ourselves a Psyker. Now, this is a Primaris Psyker. The guy comes with either a staff and a sword, or a staff and a pistol. Those are your three options right now. And at the moment, there are actually some other features too to choosing these subclasses. You now get a different passive ability. That, remember those 3 perks you used to get? You now get a free perk when you make a subclass. So the subclass perk I'm going to go for is this guy in particular. He gets some extra damage, and we're going to make him, and he's going to be called Scorch. I think that sounds appropriate. I'll show you why very, very soon. So we're going to crack on and play. Again, guys, if you've got some questions for me, fire away. Let me know if you want to know anything as we go. If you've got questions for me about the patch, if there's anything you want to know at all, remember, that's what I'm here for. I want to help you guys out, keep you guys entertained while you're on the download. So let's get on and play. And of course, when there's cutscenes, I'm going to shut the F up. So right now, you can wait a minute.
Inquisitor's log. Classified report. Scheduled for later transmission. I am closing on the source of the inquisitorial distress signal I was assigned to investigate. The coordinates I received from the Caligari Conclave led me to a desolate system. There were many delays during the journey. The intensity of the Caligari warp surges is beyond anything I've experienced. These anomalies are spreading through the subsector like a tidal wave. The distress signal has an ancient encryption used by the Holy Orders. It is authentic, but extremely old. The signal is coming from a battered fortress monastery that was likely spat from the warp when the tide of the surges swept through the sector. There is no response to our hailing signals.
Inquisitor, this is your captain speaking. I'm still trying to hail the monastery, but I get no response.
The hull looks intact, though. I think it was simply abandoned a very long time ago.
Then what do you expect to find over there?
Something that once belonged to the Inquisition, and lots of empty holes.
Sounds exciting. I've instructed your pilot to land on the hangar deck.
Stand by and wait for my signal.
Fucking hype.
Inquisitor, the automatic defense system has been activated. The turrets are attacking you. Do you...
Please note it says placeholder in the bottom right now. Right, obviously that last little bit was still being fixed up, but guys, that looks absolutely sick, doesn't it? That looks amazing. A couple of judders in there were me alt-tabbing by accident, forgot how I've got this placed. Again, I'm going to shut up while there's talking in this game, but I am going to be doing lots and lots of narrating.
Copy, Captain Van Winter, can you hear me? Strange. Vox communication is jammed and I can't use my teleporter device. Something must be disturbing my signal. I will record everything in my audio log in case I don't return.
Now, how's the audio coming through for you guys? Is that loud enough?
While attempting to dock in the hangar of an...
Oh, a movement guide. We're going to skip the tutorials. We know what we're doing.
Transport took heavy fire. I suspect that the automatic weapon systems were activated, but I don't yet know why. The transport has been destroyed along with my equipment. My pilot is dead. I
Right, let's crack on and sort that game audio out then. I'll turn it right the way up for you, buddy. Right, let's... A good start. We're off to a good start. Can't actually move my character, so I may have to reload the game here. It seems I can't actually move. Yeah, I'll just reload, guys. We're off to a good start. We're off to a good start. Hey, these things always happen. Right, do a little bit of that. Do a little bit of that. Let's fire it up again. See if it works this time. We've watched the video now. I'll turn the game audio up as well while I'm here, because I do naturally play with it quite low, just so I can talk to you guys and hear you guys. Don't worry about the black screen for a moment. It will go up in a second once the game loads. I'm just sorting out Martyr volume right now. Okay, loading back into the game. Let's have another crack at this. So far I haven't been able to move. And some people have just realised that there's been an account wipe. Good lord, there is actually no hope for people these days. If anyone's watching this, whoa, okay, well, I think we can skip that now. If anyone wasn't expecting the account wipe, there is an account wipe because there's a completely new levelling system implemented, as well as a brand new class. Lots and lots of reasons to do stuff. Right, we can move this time. I'm going to talk over this bit because you guys have already heard it. Let's get cracking on. Does anyone else think I sound a little bit like Mr. Cumberbatch?
Systems were activated, but I don't yet know why. The transport has been destroyed along with my equipment. My pilot is dead.
Is anyone else getting a Cumberbatch vibe here? Right, let's crack on.
Open the door.
Says me.
By the Emperor, what foul abomination is this?
It's a head in a wall, mate. You've not seen one of those before. This is 40k.
Mindless servitor sputtering gibberish.
Right. Oh, camera controls. Right, yeah, don't forget you can rotate the camera.
Mind the door, please. An ancient cogitator. Let's see if the tech prayers still hold. It might have information about this place.
Again, guys, I've got loads of talking to do. I just don't want to talk over the dialogue.
It is a pile of rust. At least I found some interesting diagnostics. I should...
Okay, right, off we go. So, actually, this is a new map variant. If you haven't seen it, this is the spaceship. And you'll notice as well the maps have a lot of new giblets all around the edge.
Everywhere. The putrid stench of death. Horrible wounds still ooze blood.
Nice.
What unholy beast stalks these halls?
Actually looks beautiful. Right, let's see if we got some enemies to pew-pew, because we're a Psyker, and you guys probably want to know what the abilities are, right? I'm going to talk you through them. Don't you worry. We've got a staff on this guy, he's the main one, and this is our first enemy we're going to smush.
Manifestation of chaos.
I'd like a little roar there as a welcoming. Alright, so let's use some abilities. Let's see what we got down here. We've got a straightforward single shot with a left click. Our one is going to be our first psychic ability. Pew, that's a lightning ability. Right click is going to... Oh, here we go. We're building up some heat warp anomalies. We'll talk about those in a moment. Dodging attacks we'll do in a moment too. See a little ground effect there? That is new. This pillar of flame, that is something I've summoned to pew-pew him. Number 2 is a channeled ability, and this purple thing over here. Now, if I do too much warp abilities, if I generate too much, you get warp anomalies. That purple thing on the floor was an anomaly. Good luck saying that when you're drunk. What's going to happen is you're going to summon lots of different random anomalies depending on how much you're spamming your abilities, and these anomalies can kill you. You can summon demons by accident. All sorts of things can go wrong if you use your abilities too much. I really like this system. It's a really, really interesting and fun system. All of a sudden you can have a pillar of warp lightning chasing you around while you're trying to fight stuff because you spammed your abilities a bit too much. It adds a really nice dimension to this. Really, really like it. And guys, don't worry about the animations being a little bit janky. You're getting less frames than I'm getting. There's something to do with the way that this records and streams. It doesn't come out your end as good as it does mine. This is looking pretty smooth for me. There's definitely been an FPS increase in terms of this patch. And also, by the way, there's no longer voice acting from this point forward. If you want me to narrate it, I'm kind of happy to. But I'm also just wanting to show you guys what's actually in it and perhaps let you read this on your own accord, or even wait for the audio to come in. Loving the lighting effects here. It's like I'm on sort of a, I don't know, hooker on a street corner. $10? $10, anyone? $10? No? Okay, never mind. Right, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on and have a little check through.
Finally, that's the exit from the hangar deck. I hope I find whatever is jamming my signal soon.
And as a little heads up, there is also voice acting for the assassin as well. And as a little bit of pub trivia for you, if anyone's seen the music video, I wasn't expecting that. She is the lady in that. She is the daughter of one of the characters within that music video, and she plays the assassin. True story. True story. Right, let's crack on. I'm going to show you more about the abilities, because what you've seen of the Psyker thus far really doesn't do him justice, because the really interesting thing about Psyker is you have a mixture of weapon abilities and warp abilities. Go away, Captain. We're busy right now. We're talking about warp abilities. So thus far, on my character, this is the only weapon ability I have. The other three are actually spells, and I can not only move those to other slots, but I can select other spells. Now, you can't do this until you've completed the 5th mission. Once you've done that, you can interchange your skills. And there's also a really clever system that allows you to sort of alter your skills to change what they do slightly. So think of a bit like the Diablo 3 rune system. It's not quite that in depth, but the game is going a long way towards customization, I tell you that. The Psyker is actually definitely the class for me. These guys clearly didn't go to the Chaos Boot Camp first day of tuition, though you generally learn not to stand next to explosive barrels. But hey, let's have a little bit of fun and crack on. The music in the game too, I'm really feeling. It seems that it's not turned on at the moment. I'll turn it up for you. Ooh, that looks messy. Okay, a little bit of dialogue. Again, all of the audio hasn't actually been added into the game yet by the looks of it. Perhaps either that or it's still in works. We'll turn this up a little bit. We're going to get the music up because there's some new music tracks and I really like them. They've actually got a couple of tracks. I think if you sit in the main menu, I think the music track actually equals the old Chaos Gate sort of operatic orchestral plain chant style, and I think they have done a cracking job. I actually want to personally tweet the composer, because that track for me has just taken over in terms of best 40k song. And I know I'm a fanboy, I am slightly biased with these things, but it's really good. In terms of the story thus far and my impressions, I'm enjoying it. It looks simple. This is a tutorial basically, if you're wondering why this is so simple. This is basically the wipe your bum, learn to play, do all the basic stuff. Now you're going to gather these things throughout the map, and what's not been added yet, but will be, is a little play button here, and when you click that, I'm presuming you're going to get a little audio talk through of actually what's inside. I really like that, because I'm one of these people that if I get the audio, I'll listen to it. If I get text, I'm not going to watch it. I like the idea of sitting back, closing my eyes and just getting in the zone. I don't like staring at a screen reading text. It's just not for me. So I'm really super happy that they've included audio version for some of us sort of auditory learners. I think that's really nice. Again, I'm skipping through all of the tutorial tips. If anyone is new, feel free to ask me questions. Thank you very much for the update there, Megaport. I will give him a tweet. As I say, the latest main menu music for me, I think is really on point. Let's summon a Pillar of Flame right here. And thus far, I'll tell you this, thus far, the best rotation I found for this guy is alternating your left click and your 1. You can alternate them if I hold here. You can alternate like this. You generate a fair bit of heat, but hey, you get a lot of sound effects and it looks pretty cool. Dead body on the floor to check out over here. Let's see what's going on. Dead bro on the floor. Video. Doesn't look like a video. Maybe videos to be added later. Or maybe it's just a roleplay of a video. That's fine. I like the flame effect too. Nice job. Nice job. Looks pretty. Lots of eyes on the floor in case you weren't sure what sort of ship this was. It's got Inquisitor literally written all over it. Looking good though. Inoculator refill, and what's some Voss's dust. Now, ooh, okay, cool. These are
body of a fallen Adeptus
clues. Oh,
he must have been a member of that unlucky Imperial reconnaissance team I found. Don't.
Okay, let's crack on, crack-a-lackin'. Now, can we do anything about this text box? Because when I was looking earlier, there we go, we can hide it. Fantastic, so you guys can actually look at the game now. Lovely, jubbly. Right, my favourite ability is this, without a doubt. I really like it when you've reduced the cooldown a little bit, reduce the cost, and you can just spam it to high heaven. Absolutely love it. Guys and girls, remember, do feel free to like and share the video. If you've got any friends that you think might maybe want to come back to the game if they've not played it in a while, if they're downloading the patch and you feel like, well, maybe they could do with a little bit of a heads up. Of course, there are going to be some spoilers in this, but really we're not giving away any major plot holes right here. Now, this thing on the side, don't worry, it's not a warp anomaly. It's not going to bite you. It's a health refill. There you go, just got my health back. It's kind of like a health globe, but a little bit more warp related. Now we're going to pop over here to a last dead body, and we're going to get crack-a-lacking. Yeah, I think the lightning does look pretty damn spot on.
I'm afraid Team Sigma won't be responding anytime soon.
Because they're dead.
Mind your manners. I am an Inquisitor, and I don't tolerate.
Okay, so I'm a bit of a mouthy Inquisitor. I like that. I'm not afraid to tell him who's boss. Obviously that guy's audio is not currently implemented right now, so it's a bit of a one-sided conversation. Here we are at the loot screen at the end. You see my rank points going up one mission and I'm halfway to the next level. Straight away from this, in terms of levelling progression, you do go up fairly smoothly and fairly fast. I have played a few missions on another character already, maybe, perhaps, in another lifetime, and you go up at a fairly sort of nice, smooth pace. Very, very happy thus far. Again, anyone's got any questions, let me know. I'm really trying to blitz through this so we can get to the actual customization options, show you some of the really new and interesting stuff for this class, how you can customize your character, how you can really change your build for this character, much more than the other classes. And I dare say I feel like Neocore are really going to come under a lot of pressure right now to maintain this standard with the other classes, because for me this class is really interesting to play. Perhaps the customization for weapons and crafting when it's fully implemented will satisfy people in terms of the other classes, perhaps, but for now the actual warp customization is really, really nice. Of course, I'm not going to use this all day. Let's change to my other weapon set. Okay, so we've got some other abilities here. Just show you some other animations. Okay, only one more ability. I just changed my staff, basically. Okay, well that did the job. It's fairly safe to say that shooting explosive barrels works. Oh no, I can't summon a flaming pillar of doom. I think this puts a dot on enemies. Let's have a little look. Nope, no dot by the looks of it. But that's fine, it still makes them go smush. Right. Now, I'll try and make this fairly snappy, fairly speedy. Bigger lightning. Well, you can increase the range of spells as well, you'll be glad to hear. More on that, quote-unquote, soon. I'm going to go this way and do an all up and around. No, I'm not. I'm going to go up this way, back and across, and then back in there, because I'm presuming I have to go to that room right at the end. Right, crack on. This looks like a captain in blue. Yep. Let's smush some dudes, summon a pillar of flame to cook some nubs. Health pack there if I need it. Pretty easy sort of basic difficulty. I don't think the actual difficulty of the story itself is customizable, which is an interesting choice. Perhaps there is a means of just racing ahead in the story and it getting harder as you play, but I wouldn't mind sort of like a hardcore mode as such. I'm not after the whole like die straight away mode. I really don't like that if you die in a game and you have to start right again. But I do like the idea of being punished more, like some sort of funky S&M type way. I like things to be more difficult. Of course this is a tutorial prologue, but when you make a new character it's a good way to level up, so I'm wondering if they'll find a way to do like a New Game Plus version of this, so when you've leveled one character and you want to, I don't know, maybe you won't need to because of the account level system. I need to play this a little bit more really to get to grips with that concept. Let's just cook this guy. There you go, get out of my face. Get out of my face. See little mines on the floor, quite well camouflaged now. Still managed to run through them though. Lack of balls. Okay, get out of the way, the fatty's over there. Not quite ready to take those on right this second. I've still got another guy over here to kill. They do still regenerate health if anyone's curious, and it is a little bit of a pain in the neck still. You do have to really use your maximum DPS sort of rotation to kill them, which is good because it forces you to actually learn the game and figure out what works and what doesn't work, which is good. Now, I am wondering in these maps if there's some of these extra bodies, if I find them, if that does stuff for me. I'm not entirely sure. I found some thus far that have sort of been placed in positions where I couldn't miss them. So, in terms of health, killing one at a time, not too bad. If you split the damage between the two, it can take quite a while. Quite like the sound effects, though. excuse me, would you get out of my face? I really like the ground effects now. We finally have something inside combat. There's lots of abilities like that where we can dodge, we can react to things. Now I think the game still needs to go a long way toward doing more of this, because there's not too many things that force you to make decisions within combat. There's sort of, you get overrun, you move back, you get the occasional ground ability to dodge, but I'd like to see more. But that's a really nice step forwards. Having this ground ability as opposed to the previous one, which was just a big swing. I mean, you can still dodge because their stuff is very well choreographed, but if you stand in that red circle and die, you're going to learn the lesson that you probably shouldn't stand in red circles. I mean, if you're playing a game like this and you haven't figured that out already, then you really do need some help. Right, okay, there's the exit. There we go. On to the next mission. Again, we're ploughing through this so you guys can check out the latest content. Again, this is a prologue, this is a tutorial, so, well, you'll find out a few bits about rough plot design, but you're really not going to see any major spoilers here. You're not going to find out that, you know, you're the Emperor's son or whatever, and, I don't know, your auntie's, I don't know, Queen of Narnia. Right, crack on with that. Now, we've probably got some items we can equip. We can't change our skills just yet. I'm not going to use an auto pistol. I mean, who would do that? I've not actually used my armour ability yet, so make sure to remind me to show you that. Just equipping a few things here to make my life a little bit easier. Yeah, okay, slightly more powerful than what I've got at the moment. And in terms of skills, let's have a quick look here. Some of the unlocks you get are psychic combat, psychic debuffs. Now, I'm not going to show you them right now because it will just be confusing. I need to show you the next part in order for those to make sense, but all the other stuff generally the same. Obviously there's been some balancing changes and clearly some hotfixing work, so there is some stuff that's new and different, but for the large part the skill system is the same. Those of you that wanted fully customizable skills in all classes, the skill system is the same, which may or may not please you, but it is what it is. But it does seem to have been balanced slightly, and I think many people breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief that dodge no longer gives you 300% dodge, which is always nice when the decimal point's in the right place. An Inquisitor with a plasma cannon, basically, yeah. I mean, I love the idea of a plasma cannon, to be honest. It's kind of overkill for inquisitorial duties. It's kind of hard to interrogate someone with a plasma cannon, I think. You know, you don't really have the option of shooting them in the kneecap. You shoot them in the kneecap and, you know, they explode. Pistol's probably the most sensible thing for interrogating. Lovely looking map. Not entirely sure that the visuals are supposed to be sort of shadowing there through stuff, but lovely looking map. Love the lighting and stuff. Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely, lovely. Maybe some of you read it, maybe you didn't. We've got some Imperial Guard with us now as well. We've got a little escort. All very exciting to see. Now, this is a very different type of mission to the others. If you stay tuned for another couple of minutes, you will see something a little bit different, and yet something familiar if you've played the Van Helsing games. Stay tuned to find out. Hashtag clickbait, hashtag teasing. Right, let's crack on. And we're going to meet some people along the way thus far, or so it would seem. Okay, not going to read that. You could always pause it and read it if you were quick enough. Obviously, playing it yourself, I would recommend. I'm personally going to be waiting for the audio to really get stuck into it. Maybe I'll do a video just archiving all of the written stuff, all of the verbal stuff. Use that as a little bit of a means for people that just want to sit there and listen to loads and loads of lore and audio. I think some of you might perhaps like that idea. I'd love the idea of a Martyr podcast, just listening to lore stuff. The voice actors, I have to say, I'm pretty happy with. The assassin, I mean, not only is she a very handsome woman, but she's got a lovely voice as well. In terms of being suited to 40k, she's got I'd say like a smoky British voice. Not husky, that's not the right word, but sultry. That's probably a better word. Slightly sultry sort of sound. Good, very well suited. Like her, did a good job. Thus far in terms of voice acting, I think everything's pretty on point. The Psyker's very different, obviously. This is nothing like Dawn of War 1, which is the only other sort of infamous Psyker voice that we've heard, but really they couldn't have gone for the comedic, "I'm coming, master." I mean, that guy was a minion of sorts. He was Renfield from Dracula, you know. That voice was so passive, not passive, submissive, that's the word. He just wasn't particularly inspiring. Or wouldn't be as an Inquisitor anyway. He was a very fun character. Right, now we're slowly gathering up the troops here, gathering up our forces out to the main area. Let's rock on. Another inquisitorial name badge there, just in case you forgot who owned the ship. I like leaving eyes everywhere. Radio, cracking on, crack-a-lacking. How's the volume doing, by the way, guys? Can you hear me clearly? Can you see the game clearly? Volume will soon okay? Let me know. Again, you've got any questions about the patch, the features? Again, I've got lots of questions too. Something to look forward to in the next day or two is going to be an interview with the developers again. Talk about the latest patch, talk about the content. Obviously give a little bit of reassurance to some of the people that still develop, still maintaining that the developers have run away to Nigeria with all of our monies, and let people ask. Well, I'm giving some of the questions that people have already given me to ask to the developers to talk about. So something to look forward to this week, as well as obviously playing this all freaking night until you fall asleep at your chair in a mess. Volume all good. That's what we like to hear. All right, Captain. Thank you very much. Oh. Mission done. Right, on to the next one, and I have a feeling, or are we on to the next one? Yes we are, yes we are. Alright, load on up. Nearly at the next level. Rank 2 here, so that should mean I should be getting the next loot table of rewards. Once you get to the next rank, you get slightly better items. Fate here cannot go to the bridge just yet. Last mission, last mission. This is the one they were fixing, and this is the one that caused a little bit of a delay when trying to do this mission. It kept crashing. So, at least that's what they told us. So that's the mission we're going to do. Hopefully it's not going to crash. Hopefully it's all going to work. And then we're going to get crack-a-lacking on with going around the bridge, looking at the Psyker, looking at some of the new stuff, new systems. There's a lot of new stuff on the star map to do. Now, guys, if anyone's played Van Helsing, you'll be familiar with a tower defense. Now, don't get your hopes up. This isn't a sort of a tower defense yet, but it is a defense style. This will be very familiar to anyone that has played Van Helsing. So let's crack on and have a look at this. So we're going to go and get a minefield over here. And you notice these points, you walk up here. First we'll talk to the Astartes. He doesn't have a voice yet, and I don't really want to let you just sit here. I mean, pause it if you want to read it, and I'll give you a second for each one if you want to go through. There you go, pause it if you like, but I'm going to whiz through them, and you can perhaps pursue it in your own leisurely pace. I will once he's got an actual voice. Now we're going to go up to this, and we're going to put some Marines over there. We're going to put some Marines over here too. And now we've got ourselves a nice little fortification. Looking pretty hot. And now the enemies are coming at us. All well and dandy. Now this ability down here is really good. Time Warp. If anyone's seen the Rocky Horror Show, I did sing the song when I first, not all of it, but most of the song when I first saw this ability. Time Warp is very, very interesting. What it does is it does a very big AoE stun/slow around you. It's a stun that lasts for 30 seconds. You're probably thinking, oh my god, what the hell? But every step you take reduces the duration of the stun on the enemies, and every bit of damage they take reduces it even more quickly. So if you're damaging enemies, it gives you about 3 to 4 second stun. If you're running away, it gives you a much longer stun on enemies. So if I show you up here, if we bring this up, it's a very interesting ability though. Very, very different. So we can pop that there. There you go. You see they're basically not moving now. That will hang around for up to, I believe it's 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So you can literally use it to pause those enemies, which is an absolutely incredible ability. Incredibly powerful, I think. The other things that the Psyker gets, there's also an armor set which I really like. You leave your body going into basically an out-of-body experience, and you turn into what I can only describe as like a fire sprite. You quickly zoom around trying to tag stuff by giving it a boop on the nose. What that does is as soon as you come back to your body, you then deal 100% extra damage to that character. So very, 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 very handy. We'll let the mines take care of that, and we'll see if there's any more goodies. Nope, no more goodies. I mean, these guys are doing a fairly good job. The Astartes over here, he seems to be holding his own as well. And you'll see, we've actually unlocked another ability. This has been unlocked because we've leveled up, and this is basically flaming fire that spawns around me. So we're going to run up here, and we're going to activate Flaming Fire of Doom. So if those of you that are used to being, I don't know, whirlwind barbarians and things like that, you can literally make a build around this as well. You can just walk up to people with your flaming thing of flaming and set stuff on fire. Really cool ability, but I have to say, I'm going to dig up the old Psyker video I did predicting the 20 abilities that I thought would be in the game. They're pretty much exactly as anticipated. You've got all of the standard stuff you would expect from a mage. There's a teleport, that comes as an armor ability. There we go, another one wave completed. We're going to skip the dialogue, just because... Oh, there we go, got some stuff. Minefield, we're going to pop that there. Tarantula turret, we're going to pop that there. Not where I wanted to put it. I thought it goes where your mouse does. Mental note, it goes next to where you're standing. Alright. Activate our flame, not R. There we go. Let's learn the controls. Once again, it's been a while. It's been a while. So random ability to dodge. He does, remember, kill his own dudes if you manage to orientate him that way. Always fun when they kill their own people. So the turret's actually doing something. Let's see what the Space Marine does if we zoom in a little bit here. Get the clunky mouse wheel going. Now you're probably wondering what chapter he's in. He does actually explain it if you read the text. I'm not going to give you any of the lore details. I'm going to let you get stuck into that yourself. Look at him go. Look at him go. Those heavy footsteps and that big, bald, shiny head. I wonder if he was based on Megapul's sort of... I can't see his face. Nah. I think the actual lead Inquisitor was based on Bruce Willis. Wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. Right, okay, Nurgling's there. Nothing particularly exciting. Let's see if anything more exciting is the other side. Da-da-da-da-dee. Okay. Let's activate. Oh god, I really have the temptation to say flame on when I cast that. It's pretty embarrassing. Maybe when it's not sort of approaching or passing midnight and the girlfriend's not asleep in the next room, I might start shouting flame on. But let me know what you guys are yeah, flame on, I know Arch. It's tempting, it's very tempting. So what are you guys thinking thus far? I mean, this is just a basic tutorial for the game if you actually read the stuff. In terms of a tutorial, if I had to sort of review as I go here, I mean, it's not one of those tutorials where you play and learn at the same time with little tips and pop-ups here and there. The pop-ups are quite big and substantial. You get quite big text blocks to read, and I think that's something that perhaps... I mean, they're not going to do any major changes, and it is really hard to nail a tutorial down. But learning via playing, by saying, oh look, you picked up a stick, here's an enemy, to whack it. So you learn how to use your left click and stuff like that. I think is a really sort of neat way of implementing a tutorial, although it can also be incredibly boring if done badly. But the text walls they have, I mean, if you've already played the game, it's not really going to be much of an issue. But for new players, I don't know, food for thought, something to think about. Don't whack me, don't whack me. I wonder if they attack quicker when you get higher up. So that was another wave completed. Defended wave number 3. There we go. Now we can skip this guy's little chitter chatter. And you'll notice we haven't crashed. There we go. So what do we have to do now? Defend, wave. Okay, this is the final wave. Exciting, stressful stuff. Right, what do we got here? We've got a tarantula turret. We're going to pop that right there. We're going to get a minefield. I like this. I hope there's more missions like this. In fact, I'm sure there's missions like this, because there are defend missions within the star map planned for at some point. I don't know if they're in at the moment, so I need to go and have a look. But it's a nice welcome change from walking around the map and killing 3 things. Now, I will be honest, the pace of this is a little bit slow, because you can actually just sort of kind of go AFK and everything just dies. But hey, flame on! Da-da-dee, walking around, setting stuff on fire. Okay, looking forward to getting some other psychic abilities, because I do really like these, but they could be a little bit more me, let's say. They could be a little bit more me. It's all about AoE, so this one in particular, absolutely awesome. I like the idea of making a really quick guy that's really durable, and yet you cast this and just run around enemies. I like the idea of that. There's so many potential builds you can make, but we're going to talk more about that when we actually look at the customization feature for this character. Now, defend him, yeah, okay, we still got to defend him a little bit more. Nearly done, nearly done. I feel like balance-wise they could maybe throw a couple more enemies at me. Maybe it's just because I know what I'm doing and I'm hoping it will be harder, but I kind of feel like the Imperial Guard have kind of got this bit, you know. I'll test it once and see if I can actually go AFK in the middle. But it's certainly for a new player, it's going to be a fairly engaging experience, and you know, you might, if you're trying to still learn the controls, find this still quite stressful. So it may well, for a new player, be perfectly well balanced, and we may well be returning to my New Game Plus arguments of perhaps we can make the tutorial 10 times harder for a player that wants some challenge with a brand new character. Who knows? Who knows? All these options, but I tell you what, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the Psyker. Ah, there you go. Now this is going to... Oh, noisy as well. Noisy! That is a warp anomaly that I have just caused. That is going to hunt me down and keep following me and deal a lot of damage to me if I stand there. Oh no, my guardsman now! Oh, rip! Rip! Oh, my rip. I've just killed all of my guardsmen. Rip. Rip. Oh my god. I actually just murdered an entire squadron with my warp ability. Good job, Neocore. Good. That's one of those moments when you know you're playing a 40k game, because you just wiped everyone out by using too much warp. I mean, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we're deactivating a teleport jammer right now. So let's crack on. Exactly. I sacrificed them to Zeech, apparently. Good job, me. Well, if the chaos has grown a little bit stronger in this sector, we know why. It's because some cheeky Inquisitor Psyker has been sacrificing humans. I'll just say I sacrifice them for the Emperor so they can join the warp and help him fight stuff. I think that sounds like a safe narrative. That's a Hellbrute, if anyone's not seen one before. It is like a spiky possessed, chaos-infused dreadnought of sorts. It's more biological than mechanical. Well, it's both, basically. And, yeah. Pow, pow, pow. Whoa. Epic fight scene. Needs some awesome music, and he is smushed and missing a leg. Well, if Nastartes fails, summon a fire pillar. Oh, that is another warp anomaly right there. You don't want to stand near those. So I really like the warp anomaly. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. I know I've already talked about it, but I really, really like it. It just, it's random events when playing. I'm kind of a little bit sad that... Excuse me. I'm kind of a little bit sad that we have one class that has this really interesting game mechanic and the other classes don't, because the punishing nature of it just makes a game... Normally in an ARPG it's the enemies that do random things that make things interesting. The fact that you do random things to yourself that makes things interesting is just mind-bogglingly different for me, but I really, really like it. It's a really cool idea that just randomly in a fight there will be explosions around me that I did because I spammed my abilities too much. I really, really like that, but it just means that the Assassin and the Crusader, to me, may look a little bit even less interesting because they don't have this random bit. Maybe people really like the idea of a static Crusader that is just a tanky sponge, not too many complications, a bit like a Paladin from WoW. Maybe that's the case. I mean, I don't want to say what other people like and dislike. I can only speak to my own taste. More ability buttons, I think, would be a thing, man, but I hear what you're saying. Oh, we're going to wait. Okay, placeholder cinematic, so no audio for this as well, so I'm free to talk. I hear what you say about more buttons, but I guess we also have to think that this is console savvy as well as being pitched at being beginner friendly. So if we go into MMO territory where you've got like your 12 to 15 buttons, you're in a bit of danger. I think it could integrate the two skill sets a little bit better, where you press tab to swap. I mean, maybe give people more bonuses for swapping, do it off of the global cooldown. There are many things that could be done to make that feel a little bit more fluid and make use of it, because I very rarely switch weapons, very rarely. And I'm finally on a ship. Ta-da! Conclave message. If you want to pause it and read it, feel free to go ahead. There's no audio for it, so we're going to crack on. Ta-da! Right, command bridge. And we got some fate. Lovely jubbly. Ah, there we go. So I'll be making myself a Cabal in a second. I'll tell you what we'll do right now. Cabal. We're going to overview, create. We're going to make... Da-da-dee. Live Cabal making as we go. And this is just Hydra. Okay. I do have to give priority to patrons and people already in my Cabal via Discord, but we may well have some extra spaces. Feel free to hit me up on Discord if you're interested. Now, psychic powers, this is where the magic happens. So first we need to look at the weapon. So the weapon itself has one ability here on the far left. As you'll remember, on my skill slots, that's the only ability I had that was a weapon ability. If I had a pistol, okay, an auto pistol has a potential of 4. Other pistols, well, they all vary depending on how many you have. If you have 1, you get the first 2. If you have 2 pistols, you get all 4. But going back to this, so these other 3 are our spells. We go to here, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 spells. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 potential abilities can be weapon based. If I had dual pistol, I mean, you could be a dual pistol Psyker, absolutely not a problem. But here we go, here's the really interesting thing, and you're probably looking at this thinking, what the hell's going on, Hydra? Don't worry, I got your back, got your back. 1, 2, 3, 4 spells. 1, 2, 3, 4 up there. Okay, that's where they come from. So if we click on one of these spells, what we have here are 3 potential runes we can put on it, and we can pick any combination of these that we like. We unlock these via those skill trees you remember we saw on the skill system back over here. Psychic combat, psychic debuffs, that unlocks some of these. So we can get extra things like attaching health drain, we can do add blind to targets, add shock to them, add a slow, we can do all sorts of stuff, and this is really interesting. And yes, 4 swords are an option, my friend. It seems that I don't have any in the shop at the moment. I'll go check out for you because I really like the 4 sword. It does loads of damage and it looks really nice, so I'll try and find one. So we've got 3 schools of psychic abilities, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. I can't do maths. I can't actually do maths at the moment. 18. 18 abilities in total, and I think there may be another tree. I'm not entirely sure what's happening with that. That's a little bit hidden right now. You can basically mix and match these in any order that you want, that I can understand thus far. If you're the right level for it, you can do it. Now, you might find that having all of the pyromancy ones benefits you because they're all heat based, so you may want to spec into that. You might find all of the ones that are physical are going to suit you, so you might want to stick with the bio ones, or etc, etc. There's so many combinations now. Obviously I don't have much at the moment I can do. I only have these, so we're just going to have to crack on. But that's what you can do. You can customize each skill. I mean, people wanted customization, they've got it. Now we're going to get a force rod out, and we're going to get a different armor ability. I think what we'll go for is we'll go for the Mars. Oh, not enough credits. Ripperino, we'll sell some of this. We'll buy that. No, not enough credits. Yeah, oh, we can sell pistols. We don't need pistols. Pistols are poo. There we go. Now we can buy that. Right. Now we're going to equip the new armor. Looks nice enough. Going to be honest, the aesthetics early game are fairly plain. They're intentionally so. To quote the developers directly, why would you be wearing sort of end game amazing looking gear when you first load into an ARPG? You don't start off with amazing stuff, that's just how it works. Excuse me, I don't have push to talk, so forgot how to swallow saliva for a second, but don't worry, I'm not dying. Firebolt, and we have Witchfire, so some different abilities that could be used. I've tried them, not a big fan. I prefer this one because it gives me more of my own psychic abilities to use. So let's crack on with the star map, see what we got going on. Travel to the next mission, is that an option? Not right now. Oh god, we've got to pay credits for the actual Cabal. Ugh, sod that. Ain't nobody can afford that. No force sword, I'm afraid, at the moment, my friend. We will have force sword soon. Remember, guys, feel free to like, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and get some other guys involved too with the stream, with the channel. Remember, we're doing so many videos on this. I was going to say 10 to 15, but now I'm thinking 15, 20, 25 videos just to get people up to speed on what's changed. I need to do a new one on subclass perks. I need to do a new one on Psyker perks, Psyker skills. I need to do one on the story. I need to do one on depth. There's so much. Anyway, let's crack on. I have a Space Marine that needs your help. He's missing a leg at the moment and he was stabbed through the chest, so he's in a bad way. I'm on a special assignment and blah 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 blah. So now basically I'm going to go and look for someone that can heal up my Space Marine that I met on a mission. Very cute story, isn't it? Makes sense though, you know. Try and save him. Got to make friends where you can. In terms of smoothness, I've noticed it looks smoother to me. Now, I don't want to tell you that the game will be much smoother for you, because it really seems to vary on system to system these days as to if you're high processor or high GPU. It's really kind of hard to say, but in terms of optimization, for me, it's smoother. And I mean, I would ask around before committing to an answer, but I imagine it will be smoother, but I don't know how smoother. That's all I can say, really. I don't actually have a frame rate counter up at the moment, but it's better. Well, I'm fairly sure a Space Marine, even though he's missing a leg, can probably grow it back, right? I mean, Space Marines have all these spare organs and stuff. I'm fairly sure it's no major task to ask something of the sort. Oh, it's a big map. Right, so what are we doing? Find the main archive. Alright, okay. Alright, well, it looks like we're fighting lots of stuff. Are those explosive? No. Oh well. Now, this is your sort of out-of-body experience ability. So what we've done is we've just tagged both of those, and then we've gone back to our body and died. That's one of the downsides of that ability. It sort of works in a team setting. If you're getting absolutely murdered, though, it's probably going to get you murdered even quicker. So definitely a situational one. Right. I'm not going to hang around too long here, I think. There's a little bit too much going on. You don't have to kill everything on the mission. Right now, there's still not all that much incentive to kill absolutely everything. Not entirely sure if you get bonuses. But hey, I'll kill a good portion of stuff, I think. Right, turrets are a little bit of a pain to kill. The warp anomaly there we've summoned above. A little eye on the floor. Looks pretty neat. Looks pretty neat. Getting low on health, but still at the point where we could just use this little bit of cover here to regen some health. Right, let's have a little look at the map, see where we're headed. Right, we'll go right, we'll go north. I mean, it's safe to say if you're on a map like this, you're going to be heading up there. That sort of is a given. And I believe there may be boss fights within this at the moment, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I know I should be killing all of the heresy and blokes. I know I'm an Inquisitor, it's my job, I'm not role-playing properly, but I also don't want to make you guys sit through something like a 3-hour mission. That's an exaggeration, but it does take a long time to kill everything compared to just walking through killing the sort of the bare necessities. Especially these fat guys. Man, they take a pound. Well, actually, I have no idea what they do in their spare time, but they take a lot of bullets to kill. Alright, no grenade. Let's have an out-of-body experience again. Okay, so we'll see the little thing. I'm wondering if that's a bug actually at the moment, because as soon as you go back to your body, you just get wrecked. Did I start? Oh, I started at the beginning. Mental note, never use that ability again for now until I know exactly what I'm doing. Because clearly, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Right, let's literally run through this. Get us back to where we were so you guys don't have to wait too much. The last armor ability is also a blink ability. It basically allows you to teleport forwards a small distance, exactly what you'd expect from a mage type blink. Very handy, to be honest. Movement abilities for mages are always have been, always will be incredibly useful for someone that is fairly squishy. Now, I haven't played the latest patch on a Crusader yet, so I can't really comment on balance and easiness in terms of Crusader's tankiness. But I am aware that the tankiness of this guy is, well, he's not tanky. He's kind of similar to the Assassin, I think, in terms of mitigation levels. So don't expect to be surviving too much. He's probably going to get rinsed on the harder difficulties pretty darn quick. However, he does have some abilities that add to his mitigation, a lot of them in fact. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can actually make a sort of warp-infused tanky Psyker. I mean, maybe you think the idea of such a thing as heresy, but I think it can be done. You can get probably another 40% mitigation just from psychic abilities. So obviously you're not going to have much left for damage, but hey, okay, we'll set that off. Really need to keep an eye out for traps. Not been doing a great job of that. Okay. We'll use an inoculator that's still on the bloody 0 key, which is Hungarians do have different keyboards to us. notice, difficulty-wise, not particularly hard at the moment. I really don't think anyone can be accusing the game of being too hard. Even I am just blasé running around. Yeah, okay, I'm probably going to die. Oh. Sorry, go silent there for a second because I really didn't want to die for a final time. Oh Jesus, Mary and Joseph! Okay. And we're alive, we're getting health back. Crisis over. Okay, so having just said it's fairly easy in a cakewalk, I did nearly die. So I can just shut the fuck up right now. It's difficult enough that you have to pay attention. You can't just do whatever the hell you want. Maybe on a more mobile character. Maybe if I had some movement abilities, I could be a little bit more carefree. But difficulty balance-wise is seeming pretty nice right now. Ah, there we go. So now we move on to the next room. Okay, we'll kill this from range, seeing as that seems to do a nuts amount of damage. Now, that being said, if I hadn't triggered that trap, that room would have been a lot easier. Yeah, there are plenty of defensive warp abilities. There's some that make you tougher, there's some that sort of reflect damage. There's a few in there that deal that sort of that do that sort of thing. And they're good. I like them. Go astral form, boop them all, then die. Pretty much, that seems to be that ability for me in a nutshell right now. No, there's not too much in the way of area effect squad-based abilities. There are some that target ally, which, if I have a look here somewhere in this tree, Symbiosis, target ally, psychic mastery. Now I can only assume if you get that, and this is where you could maybe turn yourself into the support bard, you get that and you get something like endurance, I can only presume the 20% reduction to damage suffered for 10 seconds also applies to your ally as well as you. I can only assume, in which case if it does, this is definitely without a doubt the coolest class in the game. Need to test it obviously, but I really like it. Well, Victor, that's probably a good point. Well spotted, my friend. Enemies killed. An XP award at the end called Enemies Killed. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I hadn't spotted it. Thank you very much. We've just had a chat message come through notifying me that there is indeed perhaps experience based on enemy kill now. A very big change for the game. Kind of excited about that. So nearly at the end of this investigation here, one thing that we can do is open up our journal. And in terms of the investigation, you sort of collect clues. These clues seem to affect probabilities in terms of finding outcomes in missions. So to give you an example, at some point you will get a mission where you have 3 to pick from and a probability of finding someone on one of those 3 missions. Now I think if you've collected all the clues, you have a better odd at finding them. I don't exactly know how that works right now, but that's the sort of thing that happens, and I like it. It's good. I'll also show you the investigation system after this mission, just to show you how that's changed as well, because that is also very different. Worth having a look at. Oh, I love the snow map. Love the snow map so much. I'm going to rock the snow map. Yeah, don't you worry, Victor. Me and you, we're both going to be watching out for the enemy killed XP. We can also compare it to the actual XP from the mission to see what's more effective. Is it going to be worth speedrunning, or is killing stuff really going to be worth it? In which case, finally, the game may favour AoE builds that can smash through loads of enemies quickly, which is a good direction for the game. AoE's, generally speaking, an ARPG, an action roleplay game, should focus on action and not doing speedruns. So if that is the case, that's very exciting. Right. Are you taking damage? Good. I thought for a second it wasn't. Right, that's one guy smushed. So let's see what we've got here. I haven't seen any bosses yet. I'm not entirely sure if bosses have been added yet.
Tell you what has been added though, incredibly painful freaking turrets. Ouch. Nearly got me. Okay, a couple of graphical artifacts there. Let's move out the way because that looks a bit funky. Now if you listen, I'm getting a lovely little bit of ASMR there. Let me just walk along the ice. Just listen. You hear that cracking noise through the ice. That's really nice. Hotel Sinus had a little chat with me about that. He said he was really looking forward to putting it in. If you don't know who Hotel Sinus is, he's the guy that's doing the audio for the game. So I just want to give a little shout out to him right now. The guy actually helped me with some audio issues. Really, really cool guy. Really, really helpful. I like the audio in the game. I still think the game needs more audio. And I'm sure he would probably still respond that there's a lot of audio still to come. Like some of those fight scenes, battle scenes, etc. Just the odd sound effect here and there is just going to make all the difference in terms of immersion. Really, really like how it's going though. I like the text boxes above their head. That is a definite improvement as well. You can actually see what they're saying. I still can't hear it very well. There's a sort of a proximity, but I can at least read it now. So if they do come out with any humorous sayings, I can see it. Yeah, I really like the crackling sound, and as I say, that's some nice ASMR there. So, I'm going to go over here, and we're looking for the biologist, Magos Biologist, who's basically going to try and heal our... Oh, are they here? No, they are not here. Okay. Sad face. Let's bug out then. We're looking for them to fix up our Astartes friend, who I'm guessing we can then nurse back to health. Put in a pot of plants and he can grow back his leg. Or we just give him a stump. It's a space marine, he can cope with a stump. Still smush with bad guys. Only get ASMR from explosions, fair enough my friends. So, I mean, you guys are probably getting a little feel now for the game in terms of what's happening now, in terms of what I'm doing. Oh, by the way, we've just unlocked endurance, extra damage mitigation, and a nice graphical artifact as we're loading back in there. Looking pretty good though. I mean, so far the game's smooth. It's working fine for me, no problems at all. What we're going to do is we're going to pop that on there because I never use that one. So actually you don't drag and drop it up there, you drag and drop it up here. I'm going to swap the order around a little bit. So just because of colour wise, it would trigger me too much doing the other way. Now what I've not done is put any of these actual things in here. So we can increase effectiveness, decrease heat cost, reduce skill cooldown. So I'm going to reduce the cooldown for this by dragging and dropping that to where I should drag and drop it to there. Gets a little bit confusing actually. It's not that complicated, but cooldown as well for that one because I'm going to be using that a lot. I'm going to be going with, oh fuck it, I'm just going to go with cooldown for everything, like because all of these three are on fairly big cooldown, so I just want to spam spells and cause warp anomalies basically, and that's my plan. Right, plasma pistol, nope, thank you. And nothing else we need. Let's do one more mission, then we'll do a little roundup, talk a little bit more about the game, and I'm going to let you crack on, play it yourself, enjoy. I think Valrak will be doing a stream later as well, so if you want to check out the game from his point of view, he'll probably be doing something too. I'm going to be focusing on my interview this week, but I will also get a couple of guides out. Red Wolf videos, the Psyker is really, really good, my friend. The skills are highly customizable. I just did a little bit of changing of my skills, just changed them all to minus 25% cooldown because I can. I could change any one of them to any number of a lot of different modifiers. The system in which it uses, you can completely sort of modularize these skills. They're different colors because they're from different trees. It's very, very modular, which is nice. It's what sort of many people would have expected. Dare I say it's better than the Van Helsing system, where I never really looked at skills and thought about making combos. Now you notice I've got 25% cooldown on this now. Let's give that a whirl. Ow. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Give it. Do it. More lightning. That's what we need. More lightning. Yes, 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 yes. That's actually glorious. That's actually glorious. And the lightning itself is beautiful. Really nice. Really, really nice. And I mean, if you want ASMR, I think that's going to give it to you. That's some pretty lightning stuff right there. I need to change my armor ability. Not exactly a fan of turning into a sprite. I guess the plan is for an area like this, what you do is you'd go into this ability, you'd run all the way up here. You only get 4 seconds, so you can quickly go tag them. But then you come back. Ah, okay, so these things will chase me around for a while, and if they touch me, they deal loads of damage. Let's just blow that up. So that's probably the better way to tag enemies, by doing it as a means to engage, rather than how I was doing it, which was completely and utterly wrong. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, my friend, no, becoming a golden fuel source. Right, let's rock on. So we've got a little commander over there, but right now, I mean, we'll look at the experience from completing the mission. I'm very, very happy that they've done the mod kill experience. I think it was inevitable that they were going to do that. Excuse me dying for not paying attention. I think it was inevitable that they were going to have to do that just to avoid the speedrun meta that would be prevalent within the game, because it was quicker to be an assassin and literally sprint through a mission. But now it means we've actually got a viable alternative of killing everything, getting loads of experience from doing that, which is really nice. I mean, that's what an ARPG should be about. It should be about smooshing stuff. But hey, if you want to speedrun, you can get stuff from speedrunning. That's fine too. But we should always reward you for killing stuff. And now it does. We'll have to see how much. And of course, balancing is ongoing. Balancing is ongoing indeed. Okay. Doing a good chunk of damage here. Really digging it. Not digging the artifact on the side of the screen there. It's been around for quite a while, that one. I'm guessing it's a... I'm not sure if that's... yeah. That was a bad thing. Oh no, that was someone shooting me. Oh, forgive me, guys, it is incredibly late. I'm going to finish this, do a little bit of a chat through, talk about, do a little bit of a summary for you guys. Still got 1 life left, that's plenty. Gonna actually have to pay attention now. No, stop being such a lemon. But really, really, really approve of this. I would recommend to anyone that's on the fence about buying it now to actually genuinely think about it, because it's got more to do and it's laid out in a way that is far more ARPG friendly. People would no longer pick this up and be like, wow, this is a bit weird and janky. They'll be like, okay, this is an ARPG that's 40k, and then they will sort of get behind the idea a little bit. Now, we're not going to set this trap off. We're not going to set this trap off, he says. Ah, sod it. It's not our day in terms of traps. Oh, really? Oh, that's a bad trap. That's a bad trap. That's a bad trap. Oh, jeez. So, remember when I said warp anomalies are nothing to worry about? Oh, it actually looks like they've got rid of the 3 life systems, so I wonder what the penalty is for dying here. That's very interesting. I'm kind of relieved that I didn't fail the mission. I honestly thought I was about to fluff it permanently there. But it just goes to show that the random nature of the Psyker's abilities is actually pretty cool. Because I literally killed myself. Right, let's crack on through these. Smush. Health. That was a health globe that didn't heal me. Oh my god. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so I've literally died from warp anomalies. Now, one thing that can happen is you can get a passive that gives you a 20% chance, instead of causing a negative warp anomaly, to give you a positive one, which is quite a nice idea. So spawning positive. I mean, I feel like it turns into a little mini game when you spawn enough of them, but I think it goes to show with a Psyker that you shouldn't dance on the edge of danger. If you're playing right on a knife's edge of am I going to die or am I not, and you're basically asking for trouble because one anomaly awkwardly placed is going to seal your fate, which is a really, really cool mechanic. I really like it. I just genuinely really like the Psyker's mechanics. It's just very different, very interesting. The idea of you causing stuff that gets you killed is new to me, and I love it. Right, excuse me. Okay, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. I need that health over there, so I'm going to have to go for that. Okay. Don't shoot me, you pecker. Oh, beautiful. Right, okay, we've got some health packs. Finally, we can get the hell out of here. And I think we're going to find this should be the mission complete once I receive, once I get to the end of it at least. The Psyker is squishy though, as it should be really. But this is good, this is good. Having said the game's fairly easy actually, I now feel like I'm getting punished quite a bit for not thinking enough. So that's really nice to see. Yeah, I mean... Oh, hey Hector, how's it going, bud? How's it going, my friend? Haven't seen you in a long time. In terms of skills and abilities, you're probably right. I really like just spamming stuff, but as you can see, it gets me killed. Which is, I mean, to be honest, I'm just enjoying the novelty of killing myself via over-spamming abilities right now. It's probably not the most fun thing to watch, I admit, and apologies for some of you that are a little bit tired of me dying right now, but I just really like the mechanic. I just really like it. There are things I could be doing to lower my heat by using weapon abilities, for example, but where's the fun in that? I like the idea of spawning more of these anomalies. I feel like I should have been playing a little bit safer in that. I really was sort of throwing myself at it a little bit there. A little bit too risky, but hey, it was fun now. Stream's going on for just over an hour, so I think we can maybe squeeze another mission in, you know. Let's see, we might have enough for a turret mission. If we do, that would be great. I would love to do a turret mission. Oh, you know what, Victor? I forgot to look at the experience. Enemies killed 375. Did you see how much experience I got in terms of enemies killed by any chance? Because I forgot to look. But what I have now is an awesome force rod. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip that. I'm going to equip my throbbing yellow force rod. And I'm going to become Tear Awesome. There we go. Look at that. Just simply beautiful. Right. Now we've got two of the peckers. We'll might as well equip two of them. Why not? Yeah, why not? Looks ridiculous, but sure. Makes sense. Damage reduction. I will accept that gladly. What have we got here? We've got that. That's much better. We've got that. That's much better. Generally, you're trying to chase this statistic up here. Force field. Protective energy field. Now, you can either go for these things, or you can go for something that will have a spare slot. If I load that up again. So you'll notice what I have at the moment has a spare skill slot, or you can go for a generic grenade ability instead. Obviously warp abilities don't have the same sort of limitations in terms of use and having to gather more items, so what I've actually got at the moment is what I prefer, but I can go for that as an upgrade. Right, we'll just quickly pop along here, change our psychic skills, show you guys once more sort of combinations we can aim for. So we've got two weapon abilities here. Now in terms of what I'm going to be using, I'm actually okay with that. I want to be using a little bit less of fiery form. What I think I'll probably do is that looks pretty cool. What I think I'll be doing is keeping the cooldown on that, but for number one here I'm going to change that to go for decrease heat cost. Yeah, so that's going to cause a few less anomalies. Yeah, increasing skills effectiveness is also pretty cool. I wonder what that does when you do it on the actual toughness one. That'll be a little thought experiment to carry out one day. Now, clues, 0 out of 7 on the Martyr. So if we look over here, we're now on to the next chapter. We've done this sort of quest chain. We've got our little reward of 30 fate, got all of the clues, and then we're on to the next one, when we're going to gather up clues again, and we're going to go through the system like that. It's a very nice, simple system. Now, in terms of travel to the next mission, I don't think we can do that. So, interrogate the Space Marine about Inquisitor, Where is... Ah! There is a Space Marine on our system. He's a bit naked at the moment. He's a little bit naked. Right. Okay, can't actually see that. Talk to him. Okay. So, slight bit of feedback here. Neo Corks, I know a couple of you staff are watching. Can't actually read the text up there. Just a slight camera angle change or moving of the text would be awesome. Probably would be fine if I had been zoomed all the way out or something like that. Donation credits, 10,000. Let's donate a few of my credits. Feeling generous. Ta-da! Reeve the Plague Lord. Collect relics of Nurgle. Okay, let's go onto the star map and see what we've got cooking over here now. Last mission, then we're going to call it a day. But again, I'm going to carry on rambling about the game as we go. So we've got hunt, we've got demonic incursion, purge, etc., etc. We've got all of these things. Let's go back to the actual rest of the sector and just have a little bit of an explore, see what's new in the sector. So let's have a see. Let's just have a little peep. Let's have a little peep here. Just see what's in the last sector. Hopefully I won't die just for going here. I'd relax. Nothing can actually blow me up just from having a peep. So, a few planets, not a lot going on. Remember, the first season is starting, and we don't exactly know what this includes. I think all of us are very excited to see what this includes, because the events, the story pertaining to it is particularly interesting, just to see what the hell's going on, just to see what's happening with this game. And in terms of the end game content too, we've got this, I think there was a proposed war zone that was being added. We're not entirely sure what that is either, so also something to look forward to. New mission types, don't see any here. Got stolen relics, seen those before. We'll do the premium mission, I guess. I do like a plasma cannon, I tell you that. I do like a plasma cannon. Slightly different layout for the star map now. Now, you haven't seen me use this yet, but you actually see the missions on the planets now. So we can select that one, which is on the planet down here, and then we can select the mission there. Click on it. There we go. Slightly difficult for my setting, but not too bad, I think. Not too bad. Again, any question you guys have, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. I'll get back to you, talk to you about this, but don't worry, for those of you that don't want to sort of filter through this to find the relevant stuff, I'm going to be doing my usual sort of... pause for a second. As a developer, we're getting a little bit of info. 25% experience is from objectives, 75% from killing enemies. Thank you so much for telling me that, Hector. You've just saved me a long time of looking around. So, is that 75%? So basically you'll get 3 times as much experience from killing stuff as you will from the objective. So if you kill everything on the map, it's basically pretty good going. So killing stuff, running past enemies when you could be killing them, may not be the most efficient use of your time anymore. Okay, may change depending on the mission type though. That's very, very interesting. So again, I applaud you guys for doing that, because again, it's one of those guys that was not a massive fan of the Assassin speedrun I was doing to level up. 40-second speedruns with my Assassin class to level up, and that's not really good for a game, is it? But now I can kill stuff. I can actually focus on making a build, okay, that's pretty speedy, but I can make a build that's speedy and kills stuff, which puts me back in the sort of the realms of comfortable ARPG gameplay where, well, I'm focusing on playing the game. And again, welcome to the stream, Hector. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Victor. And Arch. There's a lot of 40k names here. I mean, I don't think it's Arch Warhammer or Victor the writer that's in here. The lead narrative designer for this game is also called Victor. Could be. In which case, hello Victor. In which, if not, hello other Victor. But I will be streaming this game on a sort of bi-weekly basis, weekly basis. I'll be doing a couple hours here and there just for us to hang out. You guys sort of ask me questions, stuff like that. If you guys want to do co-op, if you want to see me do specific builds, specific challenges, feel free to hit me up in messages. You know that I just like trying to help. Oh, steady on, steady on. So you'll notice my warp issues are, well, no longer an issue now. Because I have 2 weapon abilities, so there is clearly a little bit of benefit, or rather there is a little bit of risk if you're going with the staff and having 3 warp abilities and hardly ever using your staff. There's a little bit of risk that you're going to kill yourself every now and again, and I'm not even playing on the very hard difficulty, so definitely something to factor in. Definitely something to factor in. Oh. Right. A couple of Psykers over here. Psyker versus Psyker. I think I won. I love the flame effect in this. It just looks great. Right. Smash, 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 smash. I don't feel I'm using the cover system as much with the Psyker, and maybe I should. I feel like the Assassin sort of, in terms of a roleplay sort of style, I feel like the Assassin suits cover. You know, you're playing an Assassin, you feel like, oh, I should be sat in cover. And this looks very ominous. Okay. Maybe if I sort of go, boop, and run back a little bit. Yep, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. So we're going to take advantage of the map here. We're going to be a little bit patient. Did that do any damage? There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That saved me a little bit of time. 30. Smushing nice. Right, got a damage reduction going on. Yeah, heat's not so much an issue now. I'm guessing you can get stuff on your armour that reduces heat management and stuff like that. I'm guessing there's other variables there too. All very exciting. Oh, and it affects the fate reward too. How many enemies you kill, does it? Very, very interesting. Okay, so killing enemies now, top priority. I mean, I tell you what, that's going to be one of the first things when I do the patch interview. Oh my god, I need sleep. The patch overview, that's one of definitely things I'm going to be talking about then, because, I mean, I have to say, in terms of feedback, if I go through and list all of the videos I've done, and I'm not presuming for a second that all of this is done because of what I've said, there is so much community feedback that is all very consistent, but if you tally up all the community feedback and all of my videos, I think you'll find that pretty much everything's been addressed in some respect. Everything in varying degrees, and obviously some things can't be addressed because some things that have been asked for, like can I play as a Dreadnought, it's probably kind of difficult to implement right now, although there was vehicle combat present. But I do think in terms of what's been done for this game, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy. You know I'm happy anyway. I mean, I like this game, but genuinely, I like the direction it's going in. I think no one at all can say that this game is not heading in a good direction now. Obviously, people may disagree on how much of a direction and how good it is, but I think it's all safe to say that if from 1 month ago to today you play this game, you're going to have a better time, you're going to enjoy yourself more. There is just more to do. It all makes a bit more sense. The way it all ties together a bit more naturally. The new class is there for anyone that really wants more customization. For anyone that doesn't, the other classes are there. We can talk more about that in the future, but we're in a good place right now. I think we are in a good place. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steam scores start picking up again. And also, if anyone is in here that hasn't done a Steam review, or has done a Steam review even, one of my gripes with Steam reviews is they become out of date very quickly, because Steam reviews are really, well, they're kind of, what they should be is a means to reflect what you're buying. But what they end up being is sort of a historic tale of how things went with the developers. But basically, if you are happy with the game now, and you want to update your review, I would urge you to. I'm actually going to update mine as well, because I think my old review doesn't reflect what's in the game at the moment. And I'll probably will include that there have been setbacks in development. Well, no, let me be fair, that the actual development and overall schedule for the game hasn't changed, just one patch was pushed back. So I can no longer say within my I can no longer say within my review that every milestone has been on time. So there's a few things that I'll probably update and be honest about, but also I'll say that in terms of content, I'm very happy. The stuff that's been added has been largely stuff that players have requested, as well as, of course, the stuff we knew we were going to get anyway. So generally, all looking pretty good, pretty happy. People always find something to complain about, but I think today is a day, and this week is going to be a week that we can be happy. So while I've got you here, Hector, is there anything you can tell me about, well, just anything really? For those of you who are wondering who I'm talking to, Hector is actually one of the programmers, I believe. So is there anything, any little sort of sneaky bits you want to share with us right now? Anything? I mean, you've given me some really helpful tips, to be honest, in terms of gameplay. Thank you for that. Anything about this, anything that's been added that I maybe haven't found yet? So has maybe the battleground thing been added, or battle zone? I'm not entirely sure. It's mentioned in the developer letter, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look through the patch notes, because I don't think it was actually mentioned in the patch notes. Maybe that's coming within a later update in January. I don't actually know. Right, let's load out of that. No idea what I did on that mission, but I did some stuff, killed some things. Let's have a look at the experience now, see how much I get. So, Horde, regular champion, elite down here. Okay, objective, got all of that stuff. Rank points, objective, okay. Enemies killed. Now, where does it say experience from killing enemies? Maybe I'm going mad. Maybe it's already been there. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Right, onward ho. Oh, what's going on here? Dialogue. I'm glad you're seeing this, Victor, because I'm not. Clearly, I need to get some freaking sleep. Priority assignments, all very happy with that. Priority assignments, procedurally generated mini-campaigns. Continue them to get weekly glory. Right. Oh, and then it gives you a little bit of instruction about this now, just to give you a very brief... it's already starting us on our first one, so this is the new layout for the investigations, basically, and... I believe these things now take the spot of priority missions. So if you want to get character experience and level up, you do investigations now, which makes a lot more sense. If you want to become a better Inquisitor, you actually do inquisitorial stuff. You do these investigations. You still sort of have to do these things, so you can pick one of these options. That increases my success chance, and I don't know what it does to collateral damage. This one increases both my success chance and the collateral damage. Now, with this system, you want to get the success chance up, collateral damage down. So that's not such a good one. That might be a good one. That might be a good one too. Kind of hard to say. That one I think is more likely to be a good one, so we'll go for that. No idea what it's going to do. So we've got a good success chance, collateral damage is still nice and low, and then you can read all the other stuff too. Sounds good. And then you can basically make an educated guess as to what you want to do here from the debriefing to crack on. It's the same system as before. It's not perfect, I think, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I find the whole thing kind of hard to digest, but I like it. Well, I like it enough to use it a bit, but there is something missing from there, and that's perhaps going to be a later video. But it seems to be feel a little bit more fluid now, which is fine by me. We're not going to crack into this right now. We're going to actually go back to the command bridge. I don't want to be killing any Ogrins right this second. 2:30 in the morning, yeah, working less than 7 hours. I know that feeling. Right, crack open our weapons once again. So once again with the Psyker, you've got access to pistols. You've got access to basically your las, your plasma, your auto pistol, your inferno pistol, and all of that stuff. You've also got force rods, force staffs, force swords. Don't have any swords, unfortunately, to show you. And so in terms of weapon abilities, there's not many that you'll get. There's one type of rod, one type of staff, one type of sword. Each one of them comes with 1 or 2 abilities, so those are kind of set in stone. The stuff that really makes this class what it is being able to pick from these 3 trees put those skills up here into your empty slots, which combines with your weapon to make this beautiful thing, and then you can create yourself a really nice customizable thing. It's just beautiful. It's really nice. Really like it. The fact as well that you can select one of these and you get, okay, you've got to be ranked 20 to get all of them, but I could combine that and I could have, when I cast it, increases my movement speed by 10 and also attaches health regeneration to the skill. I mean, there are so many different options. I could make a tanking class. I could make a run through the enemy regenerating health while doing a flame shield on myself. I could do, let's just pick out another couple here. We can do a 100% damage reduction bonus for 60 seconds, but each hit suffers, reduces that by 5%. I could put that on the low cooldown. I could give that some extra effectiveness. I could make that into a really cool skill, combine that with something else. I don't know, let's try this. Enemy armor. I could be a debuff master. I could focus on debuffing enemies and slowing them. This does like an AoE circle further away, so you could debuff units of enemies, lower their armor, lower their damage, maybe do a dot or a bleed on them or a stun on them with this as well. Completely up to you. This ability, the first hit on a target provides plus 70 damage, fair enough, and a protective ward that remains active until triggered by an attack that would kill the character, and it averts the death blow. Now that I probably should have been using for a while already, because it might have saved my life a few times. Heals the character for 50% health, only a 2-minute cooldown, but it also adds 65 warp heat that does not stack. That I really like. That sounds pretty cool. That's basically one of the perks. Now, what we're going to do is just briefly check out the perks as well. Remember what I said, when you make a character now, a subclass gives you a free perk. And I can't actually remember who recommended this. Someone recommended it. I know I did at some point, but I might have stolen the idea of someone else. I'm sure a few people have recommended that they do this. Give subclasses something to make them different. So you start with a perk, but as you level up you'll get access to the others. So you've got all the standard stuff there, of course, but you've also got unique Psyker perks as such, and you will get 3 eventually. They are fairly interesting. That's one of the older ones. That's one of the older ones. That is one. I mean, that one's an interesting. It lowers the cooldown, but does lowers timers. Might be interesting. Not entirely sure. Might be usable. Restores 50. Some are better than others. Some are better than others. In terms of a combination, I would like to see more of them, but yeah, it's a starting point. First one, you start with 20% damage at maximum warp heat. I'm just going to say that's why I was spamming abilities so much. Still got all the heroic deeds, and we've got all of those. We can unlock perks, skills, attributes. All of these things can be done here. Guys and girls, there's so much more I need to find out about this. I need to learn about this. Next, coming up within the week, we're going to be doing the interview with Neocor. We're going to be doing that, and I've already done the audio for it. I just need to sort of edit that all together, get that all sorted. We're going to be talking about the future content of the game. We're going to be talking about the end game content of the game. We're going to be talking about all that stuff. So much to talk about. We're going to be giving a little bit of reassurance by talking through the sort of content plan for the game. A lot of stuff and questions that people will probably have, or find some reassurance in talking or hearing directly from the developers. That's what I'm hoping, at least. And after that, I mean, the floor's also open to you guys, so when the video's done, chuck it down in the comments as to what you want to see in terms of which videos in what order from me. I'm planning on doing, and I'll give you a little bit of a list now. Obviously, we need to do a Psyker guide. We need to do a subclass guide talking about the various passives you get when you make a character. We need to list the Psyker abilities. We need to do talk about balance. We need to do a story campaign. We need to talk a little bit about the actual story, talk about the voice acting, do some sort of little reviews on stuff like that. Generally speaking, I've all got pretty good stuff to say, but some feedback here and there that I think will help. Oh, random Space Marine checking out my storage. Excuse me, aim at me. I'll aim at you. Oh, no, I'll go my storage. Oh, I can push. That's hilarious. Get out of it. Get out of it. Oh, that's going to be hours and hours of fun. Yep. Get. See how far you can push this guy. If anyone can actually get him to, let's set you guys a mission. If you can get him down here, send me a screenshot, and I'll take you on a turret mission for free. Okay, how about that? Guys and girls, have yourself a great day. I'm actually going to be logging now because it's 12:30 in the morning. I've got to go to work fairly soon, but don't worry. Loads more stuff coming at you. If you want to check out another stream, those of you that have been watching, check out Chapter Master Valrak. I believe he might be streaming at the moment. If not, there'll be someone. There will be someone. Check out the Discord link. There will be someone going on at the moment. So have yourselves a great day. Thanks again for checking out the video. Remember, like, remember, subscribe if you feel like subscribing. Share it out with your friends. Get them involved in the game if you feel they might like it. And I'll see you next time. Guys, good luck with the download. Have yourself a great week.